What you see right here is the Sanyo Betacord model VCR4400. They started this model in 1984, I know that. This one was made in early 1985, which I'll show later. It's in pretty good condition cosmetically. The top has some scratches on it, unfortunately, like that. But I've had this unit for 7 years now, and tonight's goal is to finally fix it up. It does work, but it needs new belts. I get my belts from Studio Sound Electronics, VCR tune-up kit. That side I want to polish it up and get it cleaned up to looking as new as best I can. The front is in mint condition. It's pretty clean. It's just I don't have Novus on it. I just cleaned it normally 7 years ago. But it is complete. Sorry. And the Betacord diode tuning. And the reason why, the thing that always bugs me, I guess because people always associate the consumer format Beta as Beta Max. The format's just Beta. Sony's trademark was the Beta Max. Sanyo called theirs the Betacord. And even though this isn't a manufacturer, Sears store brand called theirs the Beta Vision, and Sears used Sanyo and Toshiba Betas. I think NEC was another Beta manufacturer, and I swear there's a fifth one, and I can't remember what it is. But anyhow, this VCR has very high sentimental value because this was my parents' first VCR. Although I got this one off eBay, it's the same model, and there's a history behind it. Bought it new in 1984. In early 1986, it broke. It kept eating tapes, and I think my dad just got frustrated and threw it out, which, and you might have seen this in some of my other videos in my one setup, my Sony Super Beta SL100, and that was our second VCR, which in turn was my first VCR come 2 years later. And that's when I keep saying that VCR has been in my room for, it was given to me in 1988, but I didn't get it till we moved in 1989, so it's been in my room for 23 years, and I still use the thing regularly. There's no belts in it, and everything else just works perfectly. This guy here just needs new belts because it has new idler tires too. But let's just give a quick rundown. When I was 2 years old, 2 to 3 years old, I actually knew how to operate this unit. Eject it, put the tape in, push it down, and press play. Remember, there's a thing off HBO we taped called the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner movie, and I no longer have the beta tape of it, but I have it on VHS. I recorded off TV. I'm going to edit it and put it back on beta just to have the nostalgia. And I also have some beta tapes from that era I can show later when I demo this. But I just clearly remember seeing the Betacord diode push button tuning, and the big blue, it has a blue filter VFD, vacuum fluorescent display, not variable frequency drive, as it's what I deal with at my job. But anyhow, I remember these buttons here. This is what was considered a low-end unit back then. But all of them still work. They just probably need new belts. Let's see. Here's the date code. January 3rd, 1985. I wouldn't really consider that a code. That's like the actual date. Stickers a little peeling, but... And it had a remote pause. If that's all it had. I don't ever remember ours having the remote out. Maybe then it's because it only had a pause. I have the older version of this VCR, the Model 4000. I had the 1982 and the 1983 Sears version. Wait, no, look, remote pause and remote. I don't ever remember my parents using the remote on this, but I have the older version of this VCR with wood grain and the Sears version that have a built-in plug. And then somebody left a comment on one of my videos saying, ooh, it wears out the power supply cover. I'm like, no. The plug on here is a pass-through. It just connects right to the line cord. Where did they come up with that? I have no clue. You know, this kind of comments just... I don't understand where people get that from, but whatever. Anyhow, let's get this beauty apart. A little bit of work it's involved right now, but had to take the front top loading mechanism out to gain access to everything. Okay, you have your reel tables right here, but this is actually a pretty good quality unit, though you can tell it was a lower end machine because the chassis for them, that tape deck is plastic. It's like the same kind of plastic they used to make my Galaxy 1989 Galaxy box fan, and the, you know, the Laskas with the plastic motor. I mean, it seems to be pretty solid. But it's like my SO100 Sony, except the Sony is all direct driven. Here has a motor, a separate motor down here to drive the idler assembly. And there's a belt. There's a the idler down there, and this top piece, I need to see how all this works. I'm not sure which does what. I think the bottom one would definitely be that, and this is like the top one before fast forward and rewind. I'm going to change this belt, and it came with a brand new idler, which I'm going to implement. And the only other belt would be the loading motor belt, which is the one that is having trouble, which is really easy to change, and I have a belt puller to do it. And the capstan over here, which, let me focus, I'm trying to, like, I gotta watch this. Okay, here's your capstan right there, and it too is direct driven, so it's a pretty decently built machine considering. Well, I'm gonna change out. Oh wait, cool! I didn't even notice it. There's the dew sensor. My Sony doesn't even have a dew sensor on it. This one does. Okay, I'm gonna change all the belts and stuff. Here's the brand new belt. There's the old belt. It's deformed. Wah wah. Well, I'm getting somewhere here. Take off the little. I forget the proper term for that, but it's not a C-clamp, but it's a clamp anyways. Goes over top the shaft for the reel table motor. And then you pull everything off in order here. This is the bottom, which I have a replacement for. This is the one that was on top. I better watch what I'm doing. I keep trying to look in person, and this is the one pulley right here. I think the kit I ordered included an extra belt because it listed this model under like a bunch of different models. And I think I just double checked the Sam's photo fact on this unit. There are no other belts in this thing. This thing only has a loading motor belt and a belt right there. So I'm gonna try to reassemble this with the new equipment after cleaning the pulleys with some alcohol. And the last thing I need to do is get this little rubber tire onto this. And then all the replacements are in there. I mean, so far I got the new little idler assembly and a new belt on. Here's the other belt, hard, all oblong shaped. So we're getting there, and I'll clean the surfaces they contact with the reel tables here. Got the old tire off. Now that right there was done by me. I kind of destroyed it getting it off because it did not want to come off. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's all cracked. It probably could still work, but I got a new kit. Might as well make use of it. Here it is in its entirety. On there, nice and neat. Take it off, and it's going to go. I'm trying to watch through the camera, make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Oops, got it the wrong way. May help if I put it in the right way. There were two small washers I had to throw back in there, but I got it back down in. The way this works is I'm trying to see, these are the brakes right here. When this releases, I guess this goes into rewind and fast forward mode. Well, I just thoroughly got done cleaning the heads and drum and tape path. As you can see, the tape path is really nice and shiny now. And you can see that I'm moving the head right there. The heads are clean, nothing came off on the wipe, so they're pretty clean already. cleaned the pinch roller with rubber cleaner. No more, it looks brand new, the pinch roller. And as you can see, everything else is in place right here. This is ready to go. So I have the front panel off. I just cleaned it out, and whatever little dust is in there with my paintbrush and the air compressor, so it's nice and clean. I have the front panel here, and there's a reason why I take everything off. I figure, how old is this unit? This unit's 27, 28 years old. And if you can, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of a haze over top of the blue filter. Novus will make it nice and clear, and I'm going to put Novus on right on top of the vacuum fluorescent display as well. Make it really nice and clear, as well as clean this thing thoroughly out before I reassemble. And after I do that, I'm going to start assembling this unit, cleaning all the cosmetic parts thoroughly to make it look like brand new again. But so that's where I'm at this point in time. Reassemble time. Back in. And I'm already ahead of things. I already put Novus on this to make this all nice and shiny. Now I'm going to Novus this whole front panel before I start assembling the rest of the unit. About 80%, 85% done. I just got done polishing majority of the cabinet. As you can see, it's quite shiny now. Especially the top of the unit, as you can see. It's cleaned up the best I could. Not done yet. As with this piece here, as you can see, it is all scratched up. I'm going to have to pull in Novus 3, 2, and 1 on the top side at least. Bottom side spotless. Well, it's back in. Other than a really deep gouge in the plastic right there, as you can see, the plastic looks perfectly clear now. It was really, really hazy before. So this is all turning out really nice. Next thing I want to do is take the bottom off and just see what's under there and polish up the bottom plate. Put some deoxit on the line level terminals in the back and polish the power cord with some Vinyl X and hook it up. Well, I got the bottom panel all polished up and clean. And this is what the underside of the VCR looks like. Right here you can see the real table motor. Right there. Alright, time to reassemble. Well, there it is. All polished up. All cleaned up and shiny, including power cord. And now the terminal is in the back. So, stay tuned to part 2 of this video while I will demo the unit.